Hello and welcome to your EOS-compatible operating framework built on proven EOS principles. Right inside your Monday.com work management. This system is designed to help leadership teams run with clarity, accountability, and visibility without managing two separate systems. Many teams adopt EOS-style execution using tools like 90, which charges around $16 per user per month, which can be expensive. The challenge is that those tools don't handle your actual work. Your tasks, projects, and client deliverables still live somewhere else, which creates two systems, double data entry, and very little integration between your operating system and the work your team does each day. This EOS-compatible framework right inside Monday.com takes a different approach. It brings EOS-aligned structure and execution directly into your Monday work management, where your tasks, projects, and workflows already live. That means one system, one source of truth, and a one-time setup instead of ongoing per-user fees just to manage the OS layer. Before I dive in, one quick thing about Monday work management plans. You can technically install and explore this framework, but there are some limitations with the free or basic plan. There are hard limitations on the free or basic plan, so you'll need to upgrade to the pro plan. If you select here, you can see there's basic and standard, but there are hard limitations around dashboards, filtering, views, and automations. To fully utilize this template, you need to upgrade to the pro version. With that said, let me walk you through the system, how it's structured, and how each component supports EOS-style execution right inside Monday Work Management. Let's get started. When you install the template, you'll need to go to this file or doc called Getting Started with Monday EOS Template. You'll find instructions and walkthrough videos here. Go through them and you'll also have access to the EOS playbook. If you want to know more about EOS or have limited knowledge about it, go through this entire doc. You'll get a comprehensive understanding of what EOS is, what the components are. Everything is right there. Go through this doc and the videos. If you still need any help, you can contact us anytime. You can see there are several folders here: Leadership Team, Team L10 Meeting, Templates, and EOS Playbook. Let me expand them one by one. This is the Leadership Team folder. Not everyone will have access to this folder. Only top management and the leadership team. You can see we have the EOS dashboard, VTO, and yearly plan. Let me explain them one by one. I'll explain the dashboard later. Let's go to the VTO, which is the Vision Traction Organizer. You have your VTO here, your company overview, about us, mission, and vision. These are just placeholders. You need to replace them with your company's information. Same goes for core values and the short descriptions, core focus, and marketing strategy. Then the yearly plan. You can see the yearly plan board is embedded here, which I'll cover later. You can see all the plans right here. You can filter them. For example, if you want to see only certain types of plans, let's say you go to plan type and select 1-year plan, it will show your 1-year plans. If you want to see the 10-year plan, it will show that. You can filter it right inside Monday.com, right inside this board. Then you have your 90-day priorities. These are also placeholders. You need to replace that data. All of this data in brackets are placeholders, so you need to replace them with your data. Then you have your rocks board embedded here. Then you have your issues embedded here, which are the leadership team issues. Then you have SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. You need to add them here. That's all about the VTO. Now let's move to the yearly plan. In the yearly plan, you can see there are several views. One thing I want to mention here: when you install the Monday template, these views may be disorganized. Right now, we've created this template with pinned views. You can pin any view by right-clicking it. There will be an option. Right now, it says unpin, so you can pin this view. When you install the template, these views might be disorganized. That's an issue from Monday's side. What you can do is drag them and pin them. That's how they'll be organized. Now you can see this is the main table. Let's go to the department view. By department, you'll see all of the plans, the assignee, status, priority, due date, progress, plan type, plan status, whether it's off track or on track. You can also create quarterly rocks from the yearly plan and link them to quarterly rocks. You can see I've already linked this to quarterly rocks. Once you click the button, it will automatically create it and link that particular item. You can also pin columns. You can see these columns are frozen right now. If you right click and click here, you can see pin columns. Then you can select the columns and they'll be frozen or pinned so you can easily see them. There's also conditional coloring, which you can change. I'll explain that on another board. Then you have by plan type: 1-year, 3-year, and 10-year plans, same structure. Then you have the board, which is basically a Kanban view where you can see by department all the plans and everything. Now let's go to leadership team meetings, LT meetings in short. The leadership team will have several meetings. The L10 meeting is the constant one they'll have each week, but there are also other meetings. If you go to other meetings, you can see quarterly session, annual session day 1, day 2, focus day, vision building day 1, and vision building day 2. Their agendas are different. That's why I've separated this. In the L10 meeting, when you create a meeting, you choose the meeting type, L10, and the time estimate is here. Let's see other columns: facilitator, documenter or timekeeper, and participants. Then the L10 meeting doc, quarter, year, and meeting ratings. These will be coming from the meeting ratings board, which I'll explain. Let's go to the L10 meeting doc. If I click this, you can see you already have the level 10 meeting agendas and structure right here. The only thing you have to do is change your date and start your meeting. For example, here you have Segue, where employees share a piece of personal or business-related good news. You can see the scorecard, the Q1 scorecard. You can toggle it on and off. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. It will give you the scorecard to see if some of the metrics are on track or off track. If they're off track, you can create issues and discuss them later in the IDS section. Then you have your quarterly rocks and initiatives. You can see by quarter all of your quarterly goals and whether they're on track or off track. I'll talk more about them in each specific board. I'll just give you an overview of the agendas. Then you have client/employee headlines. Then you have last week's action items, which are basically last week's todos. Then the IDS session, where you discuss and solve the issues. Then you have your conclusion, where you update the to-do list and rate the meeting by filling out the form in the LT meeting rating board, which I'll show you. Then you have add messages to be cascaded. Then there's a reminder. After the meeting, employees need to add each action item and to-do to the respective task list. Now, meeting ratings. Okay, before going to meeting ratings, let's see how it works. You can see there are some automations here. For example, when status changes to archive, move item to archive. I'll explain this. I have this automation similarly in the yearly plan. Actually, let's talk about automations in the yearly plan. So let's go back. There are some automations in the yearly plan. You can see 6 months before due date arrives, if the status is not complete, it will notify the assignee. We also have this for 3 months, 1 month, and 15 days. When status changes to archive, move item to archived. This is the button automation to create quarterly rocks. If plan status changes to off track, it will notify the assignee. Now, when status changes to archive, what does that mean? Let's say you have many plans in your view, but some of them you've solved, discarded, or don't want to continue. You want to get rid of them from the view. What you can do is archive them, and they'll automatically move to the archive table. You can see here in the archive table. For example, let's say I want to archive this one. The automation is running, and it automatically moved to the archive. That's how it works. For now, I'll just drag it back here and not archive it. I'll set it to started or in progress. Back to leadership team meetings. Another automation, this will be a common automation on all boards so your board stays clean. Another automation is, when an item is created and the meeting type is level 10 meeting, it will add the doc to the level 10 meeting and set time estimate to 1.5 hours. Let me explain how that works. We have this templates folder. You can see the template folder. This is the level 10 meeting template. We've created this doc, and right now it says remove from template. If I show you, you can always save as template. We saved it as a template, and then we went back to the board. We have this Monday doc column right here. When you click the settings, you can edit doc template or set a doc template for this particular column. We already set it to the leadership team L10 meeting. Whenever I create a new item, let's say I create a new meeting, we'll see the automation running, and it will automatically create the doc. You can see it automatically created the doc, so you don't have to do it from scratch or manually. It's automatically created, and it also sets the time estimate to 1.5 hours. Now let's go to other meetings. For other meetings, you cannot have the same type of automation because Monday Doc only supports one doc template, and all of these meetings have different agendas. So what I did is I already created these pre-made docs for you, so you don't have to do it manually. For quarterly session, you'll only have this meeting each quarter. You're not going to have this every week. Annual session, you'll only have these 2 meetings each year. So after the meeting ends, you can easily duplicate this and start with it, so you don't have to manually create anything. This is about the meeting structure. Now let's go to meeting ratings since it's tied to the meetings. Meeting ratings, basically you have a form that you'll give to employees after each meeting in the conclusion section. You'll share the link and they'll type their name, meeting date, and link to which meeting they had. Whether it's L10 meeting, focus day, or day 1, they'll select that along with department, quarter, and year. They'll rate the meeting out of 10 and all this stuff. When they submit it, it will show here. For example, you can see they submitted the form for the level 10 meeting that happened on February 18th, and they have the score and all this information. You can see Emma submitted for the quarterly session. If you go back to leadership team meetings, if I go to the level 10 meeting, you can see meeting ratings. This is a connected board, and it will automatically be linked with this board and show the rating score, which is the average score. Also, in each meeting, you'll be linking todos to that particular meeting, and they'll show up here. Same goes for other meetings, the quarterly session. You can see the rating right here. That's about meetings. Let's go to headlines. Headlines are pretty simple. In each L10 meeting, your employees will write headlines, whether they're related to clients or employees. Then you have several views like last week's headlines, this week's headlines, and the main table, so the view stays clean. Meeting ratings, I've already described, so I'm not going to go through this again. Let's go to issues. The leadership team has their own issues. You can see by department view, assignee, status, when it was created, due date, and when it was closed. You can see issue type, long-term or short-term priority, and priority vote. Your team members can vote for priority, which ones they need to work on first. Then you have your quarter, year, additional details, and relevant links. You can also create todos from issues. If you want to solve this issue and create todos for that, you can create them with the click of this button. Then you have several views like by quarter, by issue type, and the board view, which is the Kanban view. There are some automations here. You can see 15 days before due date arrives. If status is not solved, it will notify the assignee like, hey, you need to solve these issues before the due date arrives. I have all of this here. You can see 30 days, 45 days. Status changes to archive. This is a common automation. When status changes to solved, it will automatically set the date closed to today, so you don't have to manually set the date. When an item is created, it will set the year to 2026. You can later change it to 2027. Then create todo. This is basically the button automation we did related to that. Now let's go to todos. Todos also have a similar structure. You can see by department, and these are the conditional colorings for overdue items. If I go to conditional coloring, you can see when status is overdue, it will show up as overdue issues. Then you have quarter, year, type, whether it's a to-do or cascading message. From issues, as I said, you can create to-dos and see which issues they're linked to and which to-dos are coming from which leadership team meeting. Then you have last week. It will show last week's to-dos. This will show this week's to-dos, and this will show this month's to-dos. Now let's go to the accountability chart. Okay, also, there are some automations here as well. There are automations in the to-do section, which are basically reminders again, similar to what you saw in issues. Also, one automation is, one day after due date arrives, if the status is not complete, it will set the status to overdue and automatically notify the assignee. There are a lot of automations right inside this template, so you don't have to do anything manually. Then the accountability chart, you have role mapping. These are grouped by role. You can see visionary, integrator, sales, marketing, client delivery, finance. You can see the Monday ID, whom they report to, their responsibilities, working status. You can see employee type, leadership, and non-leadership. You can see the department, date of joining, birth date, location, email, and phone number. There's also an accountability chart, so you can embed your own accountability chart if you have them in Miro. All you have to do is go to the Monday Marketplace and install Miro from here. Then you can create your chart in Miro and embed it right inside Monday so you can see it. There's People Analyzer. In People Analyzer, you can see there are several views like by employee, the person, evaluation date, evaluator, and the employee, the status, employee type, department, quarter, year, and core values. These are placeholders. You need to replace them with your company's core values. Then you have GWC, get it, want it, capacity to do it. Then you have strike date and strike notes. Then you have several views like by quarter, by department, by employee type, and you have the form. You can submit those evaluations using the form. Now let's go to Team L 10 meetings. If you run level 10 meetings for all the team together, then this one folder is enough. But if you want to run level 10 meetings for several departments like marketing or sales separately, you can duplicate this folder and rename them like marketing level 10 meeting, something like that. You can see headlines. This is similar to what we've already seen in the leadership section. Let's go to rocks. You can see the rocks. By department, assignee, due date, status, whether they're off track or on track, priority, rock type, whether it's a company rock or departmental rock, quarter, year, and timeline. You can also create issues here from rocks if they're off track. You can create metrics from here. It will link to your scorecard. Also, from the yearly plan, you can create any rock and link it back. Then you have by quarter view, by owner, by status, and also by timeline. There are also automations, which I've already explained, so these are pretty similar. Let's go to issues. This issues board is also similar to the leadership team issues I've already explained, so I'm not going to explain this any further. Let's go to scorecard. You have your Q1 scorecard grouped by department. You have your assignee, unit, weekly goal, status, off track or on track. If it's off track, you can create issues. You can see I've already created issues here. Then you can discuss them in your level 10 meetings. You have your quarterly total and quarterly average, which are formula fields. Then you have your weekly fields, where you'll input the data each week. Based on that, you can track if they're on track or off track. If they're off track, you create issues and discuss them in your level 10 meeting. Similarly, you have your Q2, Q3, and Q4. Now, L10 meetings, this is also similar to what I've already explained, and you have your automation setup here. This one, when you set the status to complete, for example, let's say in progress, then I set the status to complete. You see the automation is running. It automatically creates another level 10 meeting. It will also add the doc and the time estimate. See, the doc is added. The only thing you have to do is change the meeting date, and that's it. You can start your level 10 meeting. You also have your calendar, which is where you can see your meeting dates from the calendar as well. For example, if I set the meeting date to the 25th and go to the calendar, you can see the meeting date is here. When you change the status to scheduled, you can see the color as well. L10 ratings. Similarly to what I've said earlier, you have your form. You can submit it and it will link back to the level 10 meeting. Then you have your level 10 totos. Similarly to what I've explained for leadership totos. There are some automations here you can change anytime you want. For example, one automation I have. When an item is created in the to-dos list, it will have a due date of exactly 7 days from that particular date. You can change it as you want. You can see it was created. You can see the date created, due date, and date closed. Now these are just manually typed, but when you create it, it will automatically push the date by 7 days. Then we have templates. These are the templates. If you want to edit them, for example, for the leadership meeting, if you want to add any other agenda or get rid of any agenda, do that. But first remove them from the template, then edit them, then add them again as a template. Then just go to each meeting and set those templates. Then you have your Team L10 meeting and also day 1, annual session day 2, and all the other templates. These are here. And then you have your EOS playbook that I've already explained, which is basically your EOS introduction and the 6 components of EOS with more comprehensive details. Lastly, you have your survey and leadership tools, which you can use, for example, to check your organizational health, like your organizational checkup, LMA survey, and all the other stuff right here. One thing I haven't explained yet is the EOS dashboard. So let's talk about the EOS dashboard. You can see the EOS overview. You have your leadership team. For the leadership team, you have your yearly plan. You can see the department status and progress. You can see your issues by department, owner, priority, and their status and progress. The meeting calendar and meeting rating average. Your to-dos by department, status, and owner. Then you have your team overview. For rocks, you can see the rocks dashboard, the scorecard dashboard, and your issues dashboard. Then you have your level 10 meetings, meeting ratings, and your level 10 to-dos, which is basically this week's focus. Then you have overdue watch, which is accountability, to-dos by department that are overdue, and also the owners responsible for these overdue to-dos. So that is pretty much all about the EOS framework. Go through this doc first, then start working on the template. If you need any information or help, contact us here. Thank you.